All right. Welcome, Jay, to Nifty Campus Podcast, Episode 5. How are things going?
Good, buddy. I know we've been
Good.
trying to do this forever, so here
Well,
we are. Let's
the,
go.
the real story is that we already did this, but technical
Yeah,
glitches and things after one thing after another. But yeah, I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're doing this. It was a great interview that we had done, so I really wanted to get you back
yeah. I
and
remember
just
my background was in my basement, so that was at least probably over a year ago.
yeah, I like what you got going
Awesome.
on here. You seem like you have a pretty mean hat collection going on.
Thanks, man. My closet office. Yeah, I love it.
We know where your discretionary spending goes.
It's yeah, accumulated through time.
That's awesome. All right. So I remember when you joined Nifty Campus, it was back when you were on mission in the military.
Yeah,
And you were messaging me wondering, if we can get together and talk about what to do with some extra cash, laying around on the sidelines. Me being in the military, I know what it's like going on mission and, you make some extra cash and you don't want to spend
yeah,
that on dumb things.
yeah.
So I remember doing coaching back then before we had a core program. And yeah, I would just like for you to just touch a little bit on, what got you into the idea of starting to not spend money on things that don't matter and start investing in great companies and cryptocurrencies.
Yeah. So, man, we have to go back here because I mean, we started talking about that stuff in like 2021, but we met a few years earlier because of my wife's hair salon barbershop and your business that you have. Um, and we kind of just met. And even though you were dealing with my wife, we kind of hit it off and we were, talking here and there. And you were like always big on the crypto and everything. And then we had an opportunity to, because I'm in Alberta and you're in Ontario, and I came down to see some buddies at the same base that you're at, and we ended up getting to meet face to face and had some good chats. And I remember, I think you were like, just put some money on Ethereum. Like, what's the worst that could happen, right? And that's like, I don't know, what was it at? Maybe like
$1,000,
50,
1,200
yeah,
bucks or
maybe.
something.
Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like our first interaction, and that was probably like, it was before COVID, so probably like 2019ish or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, so that always stuck with me. And then, as I was in Romania and had a lot of spare time on my hands, so I always like to do a lot of research and stuff. So I was constantly going, down that rabbit hole, and crypto was something that was really interesting to me. And I mean, we're hitting that like 2021, 2022, like kind of top, but
Yeah.
and we started chatting about it. You're always like kind of checking up on me, how's things going on tour and stuff, and kind of spitballing ideas and stuff. And then we decided that like after tour, like let's get together on video and let's go through this stuff and see what it can do for myself if I want to get into it seriously, right? So
Hmm.
I guess that was kind of like our first kind of like interaction about actually monetizing crypto and getting into that game and stuff. So yeah, so that would have been, end of 2021, just before everything crashed. So that was great.
Yeah.
But we had each other,
Yeah.
and we had the conviction, we stuck through it, and now we're laughing. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because like I still remember those times where I was still very like proficient on what I knew about crypto and the ins and outs for where crypto was at then. But understanding how cycles and how much crypto could really pull back, you really need to live through a bear market to really get it
Yeah, you
and
really do.
understand. So like
Absolutely.
it's really good that we got that. And I always tell individuals who are new to this game, uh, you want to get into it when things are going really bad and when there's a bear market. you know?
Absolutely.
And when there's peak fear in the market, which I think we're sitting at a 35 right now on the fear index,
Yeah, I know.
at highs, which is like, what? Right?
I know.
So when people are afraid and the price is really good, that means the asset is
Yeah.
pretty good.
And I mean, that was one thing that, like I always tell myself, like, luckily, when, I started investing into it, it was at the peak, but I hadn't invested enough to, like, so when it crashed, to really experience, like, holy shit, I just lost everything type of feeling, right? Um, so most of my investing has happened through the bear market,
Mhm.
which, and I mean, we've seen some up and downs in the bear market and everything, but now you see the cycle starting to happen again. And like, we just knew, like, it's like, this is gonna happen.
Yep.
Like, just wait, man, just wait. Keep,
Yep. Keep
dollar
adding.
cost averaging,
Yep.
do what you got to do. Make
Yep.
sure you're doing your research and you're investing in like some great coins, great stocks, everything at the same time. And just watch. And here we are, like,
Yeah.
Bitcoin's like, it's insane right now. It's taking over the world, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Donald Trump just
Oh, I love Trump. Oh man.
and I just, I guess the thing that I love the most too is, like, over the years, people just like, you're crazy. Like, you're crazy, man. It's like, no, you just don't understand it. And
Yeah.
they're like, whatever, man. And then all of a sudden, it's the same people are like, hey, man, what should I invest in? Like, please tell me. I'm
Yep.
like,
Yep.
well,
I walked up and down the halls at my job place for 4 years, banging the drum on Bitcoin at 15 grand, 20 grand, 25 grand, 30 grand. And only now people are coming up to me and asking me, "Can I have a card? I heard you have a business." It's like,
absolutely.
well, I had a business 4 years ago, and I was saying the same thing to you back then too. So yeah, it's interesting, how individuals, the masses, they come in when things are hot, but they when things are cold, they're like, nope, nope, I'm staying inside. It's
Yeah.
like, really,
Yeah.
really, this is the moment,
Yeah.
when
And
no
I
one's.
feel, I feel like our mindset, what we like teach ourselves and what we learn as a community is like, hey, man, like, you want this to happen. This is when you want to get in, right? Like, when there's fear, you buy. Like,
Yeah.
that's go time.
Yeah,
So
I just went over my limit buys right now on Bitcoin, and well, I'm sitting over a full Bitcoin now, and I'm still, thank you. I still have a lot
once
of.
again,
Yeah, yeah.
you're
Jokes on
back.
me. Yep, I'm back, man. But I have about 7,000 US on sitting there in limit buys right now for Bitcoin,
That's
all in
awesome.
and around 90,000, 87, 89, 91, 92.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to have limit buys 10%. Anytime there's a new high, I'm setting limit buys 10, 15, 20% below that. And I'm going
Yeah.
to continue to do this for the rest of my life. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and it's pretty much a infinite money glitch, man, that we've kind of got into here, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what was life like for Jay prior to going on a mission, coming back and learning some financial literacy through Nifty Campus?
Um. It's a loaded question, but
Mhm.
I mean, just try to make things work. Like, just reaching for throwing darts at a board with basically a blindfold on. I mean, I had debt. I knew I wanted to invest. I knew all that stuff, but just like everybody else, I was trying to do it on my own and probably losing way more money than I was making. Just, I was just very confused. Um, Not really focused on allocating my money where it should be, trying to maybe like catch that big break and like everything's going to be fine. Meanwhile, I should have been really focusing on paying off my debts and all that stuff. Um, and kind of just like, just going through the motions, man, just kind of like being there, and it was like, where the where am I going? Like,
Right.
what am I doing here, man? And it's like, I'm in my like mid 30s right now, on the top end of the mid 30s. And I spent my whole 20s like just, oh man, it was
Go
crazy.
for it. Go for it if you're willing to. Go for it. Yeah.
Well, like just kind of like, I'm gonna have fun now, and I'll
Deal with it
figure
later.
it out later.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, it's later. What the hell are you gonna do, man?
Nothing's
And
changed.
all of a sudden, I'm in my 30s, and I'm like, I got all this debt. I'm friggin' partying every weekend, like not accomplishing anything. Am I really happy? No, I was not.
Right.
So I needed some direction, man. I needed some help for a lot of things, and financially is one of those. Um, I had, like I had some small circles of friends that invested and stuff like that, and that were pretty good with their money, but they were really good coaches. So it's like, they'd be like, "Oh man, yeah, this is what I do. I just invest $500 a week," and I'm like, $500 a week, man. Jesus.
Where are you getting this cheddar, bro?
Holy.
You got a cow out back, motherfucker?
Yeah. So, anyways, I guess I had a wake up call, and you kind of always been there in the background since we like met each other, and we always knew that we kind of had something and want to work together or do something together. And then this whole spiel came along, and you're like, "Hey, man, I can help you out."
Mhm.
I was like, "All right, like, how do we start this?" Right? I, you know,
Were you skeptical?
yeah, of course I was skeptical, man. It was
Good.
crypto in like 2019.
Yeah.
Anybody who, you know what I mean? Like,
But more skeptical getting some coaching from myself and through Nifty Campus was more the question.
well, I knew you when like this was a concept,
Right.
right? I got your coaching before, I guess maybe you were like officially coaching, maybe I would say. So I got it more, from like a friend.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Yeah, no, like I would say that you were probably one of my very first out of like first 1 to 5 people that when I started really making a business out of this and starting to charge for my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were one of the first ones that
Yeah,
I
and we did go through that.
yeah,
We like you helped me set up a couple accounts and stuff, and I did, pay you in crypto. It was my first
yeah,
purchases, really.
yeah, I remember.
Um, yeah, and but like just through for me personally, like you know, Nifty's been a great community. Um, but I will give my own self a lot of credit for pulling myself out. I
Oh,
can't
for
give
sure.
all the credit to other people, but I need
Yeah,
to start doing that. But
yeah,
but I needed that like that support, right?
good. Yeah,
So even though I've done a lot of my own work and dug myself out of a hole, I did that through uh, the support of like communities and people that are going through the same shit that I'm going through, and just kind of having that mindset. That was one of the things that I never had before. It's that a mindset.
I'm
I
sure
was just
having I'm
I was
sure
just
having
blocked.
yeah, I'm sure having um a military brotherhood too to lean on too was probably really good too. And yeah,
Most of the time. You know
yeah,
how we all are. Sometimes we all need help together, but
yeah,
but
yeah,
but yeah, absolutely. And we go through a lot of shit together that other people don't really experience, right? So
yeah.
we have that support, but also, yeah, just that's kind of one thing I want to touch on too is just the mindset is such a powerful tool, right? Like I never you hear about it and you're like, oh yeah, like it'd be nice, whatever, and it's
Mhm.
like, no, man, it's a thing. Like you have to believe it and you have to change your mindset. So I went from just kind of going through the motions in life to being like, hey man, like we got to grind here. Like, we got goals. This is not what I want for my life. You know, I'm seeing palm trees and oceans and
Portugal.
Portugal. Yeah, I'm seeing some visits there.
Yep.
But you know, for myself and like my wife too, like that's our next step right now is, you know, an investment property in probably, you know, Mexico or somewhere in that area. And that's something that I just, you know, was like, oh yeah, well, it'd be nice. Like, I can save up and go on a trip. And I'm like, no,
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 fuck that
like
shit.
I'm gonna go buy a fucking property
Yeah.
and own it
Yeah,
and
and
go
the
whenever I
rent from
want.
that motherfucker will pay me the trip. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody else is gonna pay me to go and Airbnb it or whatever, right? Like,
Yep.
that's it. I was talking to my nephew the other day, and you know, kind of giving him some coaching stuff, and now, you know, using all of our strategies and stuff. And
Yep.
you know, he's like, he just turned 15. He's like, I don't really know what I want to do, and I'm like, scared.
Okay.
You know, a lot of my friends they want to be lawyers, they want to be this, and I was like, you know what, I want to be at your age. I want to pump gas.
Yeah,
I
I was
want to
chasing
pump
I was
gas.
chasing girls, man. I wasn't doing fuck all, man.
Pump gas, chase girls, and just, you know, just be there. And I'm like, but the difference now is I don't want to pump gas. I want to own the gas station.
There you go.
You know, like, so he's like, whoa, I never really thought of it like. I'm like, yes,
good for you.
That's where we're going, buddy.
Yeah.
So
good for you, man. That's so important to be a leader in your family. You know, not just in the military like you are, but you know, that translates into the family too. You know,
absolutely.
I got 2 young nephews, and I just can't wait to plug them into the matrix and start day trading on TradingView, man. Like,
yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
You know, so like, yeah, and it's a journey, you know, and it's crazy how much pressure is put on children these days. You know, they don't know their left from their right anymore, man.
It's
insane. So at 15, young man, you should be outside playing with your friends.
Yeah,
that's it. You should be outside playing with your friends, and you should be out there protecting young girls out in the yard.
Yeah,
really, you know.
Yeah,
and hanging out with your mates if you're playing sports or something. Like, it's unfortunate.
And I mean, some of the questions he was asking me were like, I was like stumped, you know, like just about the future. And he's like, what is like my generation going to go through? He's like, I already see the price of groceries. I'm like, do you even buy your own groceries? He's like, no, but I'm there. I see it. I see the bills.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're concerned about that. And he, like, buddy just turned 15. And I'm like,
so much pressure. Yeah.
It's good that you're already thinking like that. At least, you know,
it is.
But, man, it sucks that you're in that position.
Yeah. And you and I both know that every year we're going to be talking about inflation and interest rates and this and that and the cost of goods. Cost of goods ain't going down. They're never going to go down. They're going to constantly go up, which is why we need to print more and yada, 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 yada. Exactly. So like this constant cycle is going to continuously repeat itself, which is good because we just keep printing money to buy more stocks in the stock market. So the stock market grows, right? So yeah, I'm right now in the middle of developing a legacy package on Nifty Campus. So instead of buying an individual program, you can buy a family program up to 4 portal logins. So you can have, you know, and then like a small fee additional for more logins after 4. But yeah, it's what the idea is. If you're a father or a mother in a family and you're looking at Nifty and you're thinking about joining, well, you should all have this conversation as a family and create a legacy together and join together. Once a week, sit down, talk about stocks that you were going to buy together as a family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Create competition against each other on TradingView, paper trading to see who can get it, you know, 100 grand to 200 grand first, things like this. And it just creates a mindset, like you said, a mindset of the way that the wealthy and the comfortable live.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely. I think that's a great idea, man. Like, I'm just trying to go through my head right now. Like, what else has that, you know, where like you guys can all kind of have your own experience, but experience it together.
Yep.
And like have the whole family on the same page.
Yep.
because that's priceless.
So
Yeah,
instead of getting like individual coaching calls as an individual, you get a family coaching session so that you all sit down as a family and we talk about finances and how to invest together, how to set up a family trust and invest stocks in the trust. And then everyone gets a dividend check together from the trust.
yeah,
And then
absolutely.
everyone feeds the trust, you know what I mean? And things like this stop spreading away from each other as a family, and you grow your tree together. So
Yeah, and that's like another thing too. You know, you're always thinking like things are always evolving, right? And that's like so important. I know you've been so friggin' busy. You know, like just
yeah,
how long we've been trying to do this little
I was
episode, right? Like, and you're busy, I'm busy, and but hey,
mhm.
man, I checked out the website and that thing's looking crisp,
Thanks,
looking
man.
real nice. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't take any fucking credit for the website. That's my wife, man.
yeah, she's
I'll
awesome.
take credit for the slides and the coaching material and all that, but she can take credit for how everything looks.
That's great.
And not only that, all the processes, how things are working so seamlessly. When people join, they get their portal right away and they get a welcome email, and it's just, you know, things are rolling, man. Wait till I have an NFT project that's linked to this thing, dude. And one proper ad on Facebook, man, it's over. Game changer, right? So, but see, this is a good time to start talking a little bit about business strategy and stuff like that. Like, you've known me not to rush things. You know, like I didn't rush the Beard for Jen. Uh, I didn't go too far into the Beard for Jen when COVID really took a hit on us and went the wrong way. So, you know what I mean? Like, you have to move. And so I learned from the Beard for Jen. And I also said to my wife with the Nifty campus, no, we're going to have an alpha phase, a beta phase. In those phases, this is what we do. We don't have to go all out and make it, you know, it's like a hairstylist or a barber who goes and gets a rental for his first time starting a business and he gets a 3-year rental. It's like, really?
Yeah,
Why didn't you do a 6-month, dude?
yeah,
Maybe it might not work out. Right. So I just wanted to do things in phases. So it was always, you know, get 5 good mods that people need, train it to people, see if it do the proof of concept, you know, and then move from there. And then,
absolutely.
you
Yep.
know, and you know, I just truly think and believe that Nifty Campus is going to be a monumental staple when it comes to family learning.
Yeah, that's great, man. And I'm starting to see it, you know, like even when we were having these conversations last year, where we were like everything was so it was mostly in your head, right? And now it's like it's coming out and you're starting to see the vision, man. And it's awesome, dude.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but how has it helped you and your wife when it comes to now talking about finances in a different way and working together in common goals that you may not have been working on prior to learning all of these skills?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I would say the biggest thing that I've kind of gotten is just the whole mindset, right? I was able to get my wife on board with the training, the coaching that I've gotten, and kind of formulate goals that we can work together. And that kind of like snowballed into wanting to learn more, you know, listening to like audiobooks together and stuff, and just kind of forming like a cohesive unit where we just work together now. And there's no more like, this is my money and this is what I'm going to do with it and whatever. Like, obviously, we have our own money, but we now have our common goals. And now, like, we've kind of just made everything into, you know, one sort of
Umbrella.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just like from where we were a few years ago to now is like two different people. It's
Amazing.
insane. I look at like that guy and I see like this like 20-year-old kid with maybe wearing like, I don't know, skinny jeans with like holes in it. And like, be like, what are you doing, man? To like, holy shit, like, yeah, we're building something here. Like, we're building an empire, you know? And like, even like just the entrepreneurial side, and that, like, you know, I take some of that from you as well, just seeing you like grinding on the side, and you know, just putting in the work. And it's like, you know, my wife owns a barbershop and hair salon. I'm in the military. But we also like are kind of expanding, you know, we're using the barbershop, you know, crew house is what it's called. And we've now incorporated. So
Good
now
job,
we're
man.
crew house. Thank you. Yeah, I
There you
appreciate that.
go. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah, yeah. I know you're all about that. Um, and you know, kind of like crew house is like a big thing, but you know, my wife is into well, you know, hers is very vintage and kind of throwback vinyl, roller skating, that
I
kind of
love it.
music stuff.
Yeah.
And so now she's actually like this morning she had a meeting, and she's having another one this evening about like this roller skating initiative.
Oh
And
yeah.
she's already started her Facebook. It's called Roller House, you know, and then we have so much vinyl. I was like, hey man, like how do we share this with people? So we're actually like using a part of the shop now, and now we're opening up Vinyl House, which is just like a small
Like a
record
little
store,
museum, like a little museum.
sort of like
Yeah.
buy and sell records, like
Okay.
nothing too crazy right now, but you know, just like the
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, and that, like, that's what
Yeah.
we like doing. You know, we come home, we talk about the good, the positive, and like try to keep each other on track. Sometimes we get hyper focused on things and kind of forget what our main objectives are, you know. But
Yeah. Of course.
yeah, and that's all, like, it's all stuff that we, you know, started doing like after we got our shit together, you know. So thank
Wow.
you for being part of that.
Well, and it's just I just love being a part of people's success stories, and also being there when things don't go the right way either, right? So like
Yes, very much, very much.
it goes both ways, right?
Yeah,
For me, the passion of helping others comes from not having anyone to help me with my shit. You know, I'm self-taught in almost everything that I do, you know,
yeah,
and it's not a good experience. I don't like it. And no
yeah,
one should have to go through that, right? So, you know, and I think that every child in this world should be taught a little bit about what money is and have a good relationship with money. So I think I'm just
absolutely.
going to stay on this path. I think well, not I think I'm going to stay on this path. I'm going to grind it out. And it, like you and your wife, it brings joy for my wife and I too. It gives us something to have a common goal, which we have a bunch of common goals together, but like this is one that keeps us close to working together.
Yeah,
I call bullshit to anyone that says you shouldn't go into business with your spouse or family. I think it's very the first people you should go in business with if you structure it properly in a corporation.
yeah. And
So
if you're in a good relationship,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
But
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, so it's just it's one of the coolest experiences to run a successful business with your partner.
yeah,
It
it's
just
awesome.
yeah,
It's
it
awesome.
really is.
Sometimes we have to remind ourselves that there's, you know, we got to take time to enjoy life and do other things, but
Oh yeah.
you know, because you get so like enveloped into it, and it's like, oh my god, it's
Yep.
like Sunday night, and the next week's already starting.
I
You
think
know, like,
Melissa got onto the computer at like she gets off work, which she works all day on a computer at 4. Did a quick workout, started on Nifty campus website at like 5, finished at like 2 a.m. in the morning. And I just like, her computer died. She's like, I would have kept going. And then she got up the next day and did it all over again on a Friday night or a Saturday night. And we had a brunch coming at 11 o'clock on the Sunday, and she's in bed at 3 a.m. in the morning, you
yeah,
know? And then
yeah,
people ask us all the time, like, how is it the hell you do it? Well, I'm going to ask you, like, what do you do with the extra time you have when you're doing this in a day, and it doesn't bring you any value at all? It just brings you comfort and a good time.
yeah,
So
exactly.
like it comes from putting in extra work than the person left next to you and the guy next door. And
Absolutely.
if you put in more work than the guy next door, then you're going to end up succeeding and beating the guy next door. This is why LeBron James and Kobe Bryant are probably the best that ever touched a basketball, and Michael Jordan. They stayed in the gym longer than everyone else. They were there first and they left last. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you can apply that concept to really anything you do, so so I think that with people that never invested before, people who've never gotten into crypto before, people who've just wanting to start a business for the first time, joining a community, regardless of what that community is, if it's a community of like-minded individuals of what you are trying to accomplish, that's step one. I always say step one. You need to find yourself a mentor. You need to find yourself a community, and start trusting the individuals that are doing exactly the thing that you're doing and succeeding in it.
And also, it could be working towards the same goal, but from like different angles, right? Not everybody has this, like you and I have completely different investing strategies.
Oh yeah. Mine must make you sick.
Oh yeah, man. You keep me up at night.
Oh man.
But we're still working towards the same thing, and we can bounce different thought processes off of each other, right? And I think that's like one of the very important things. And I'm starting to see like the Discord and Nifty getting a little bit livelier and livelier, and people are posting more and like, starting to like, hey man, like, did you guys see this news, or what do you guys think about this? And like it's starting to roll. And once that gets going, it's gonna be awesome.
I know I'm allowed to talk about this because I just finished hanging out with him in a live trade. Adam just closed 100% trade in 3 weeks on SMCI from that post we made about Nancy Pelosi.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
And as he closes it at 65, the stock plummets in the power hour to $58 or $57. He's like, holy shit, that feels so good.
Yeah.
And then he set up a day trade short and made money short. Fuck. I was like, man, this is it. Class is over.
Yeah, class is over.
Yeah, you're no longer a young Padawan, young man.
That's great, man. Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, and like I always tell people, man, like if you're going to tell me you have no opportunity in this world, you've never actually looked at the stock market when it opens at 9:30 on Monday morning.
Yeah.
That's absolutely it. And then furthermore, you haven't just logged on to a chart on Bitcoin that it just doesn't want to stop all day. So if you're bored at night, don't tell me you don't have an opportunity at night either. So
yeah, I welcome the close of the stock market though. Like, I know, even though Bitcoin's still ripping, I just let that do its own thing.
Yeah.
And
I have stopped looking at my crypto wallet now for the last 6 months because since Donald Trump came into power, my portfolio, it will fluctuate $10,000 to $20,000 a day.
Yep.
So I'm just like, you do what you want to do, boo boo. And if you keep coming down, I'm just gonna buy you up some more. So
yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I'll maybe I don't know, 3 weeks, a month ago, I was up like 100% on my crypto portfolio, and now I looked at it today. It's at like down to 52%. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, time to bring out the shopping bags. Let's go.
Do that here.
Thank
do that.
You.
yeah. Dip here, dip there.
Yeah,
I know. It's just it's a different feeling when you're running out of money buying good things, isn't it? You know. And when you're broke, but you're not broke, you're broke. Remember that? So it's like you got a money problem, but it's a good money problem when you're buying the best assets in the world and you just kind of run out the wheelbarrow. So this is why I keep grinding, Jay. It's why I keep fucking grinding, man. It's because I know that if I run out of cash, which probably not going to happen, I will just grind to make more every month. So, and if I make a mistake, well, guess what, man? I'll grind it back next month, man. But some of my mistakes have been pretty costly, or not that they're costly. They just take a long time to get back to. Man, I watched you guys make double ups on me in the Discord while I'm holding my Unity for 3-4 months. I watch Amanda do a double up, Darlene do a double up, Adam do a double up.
So, oh man,
it's like, So, but no, you know what? My big trade right now is AMD, and I'm just.
That's one of my biggest holdings right now, actually.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah,
I
I'm
uh,
I'm
I'm
loving
excited.
it.
Yeah.
I love Lisa Sue. I even love the company. Like
Yeah.
before I even started investing into it, you know.
I don't think I have a computer device in this house without an AMD part in it. So, and
Yeah,
you're not going to find any big AI data centers in the next 25 years that's not going to have some sort of AMD
absolutely.
product.
I'm super stoked for it. I like, the earnings came out and she dropped a bit more, and I was like, oh man, like
Yeah.
my position's already full, but I did give myself a bit of leeway in case something like this were to happen. So
Right.
here we are.
Yeah. I got in at 118.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
I know some people in Nifty, I think, got in today at 110 or something.
Oh, right now is probably the best time you're gonna get in. I got in. I started getting in. It was like 132.
Yeah, even still.
And even then, like,
Yeah, I know.
what's that gonna mean in like 2 years from now?
Nothing. It'll be a fly
Like,
on the wall.
oh God.
Yeah.
You know?
There's nothing stopping these AI companies that have already established themselves for over 2 decades.
Absolutely.
And I truly believe AMD will be a $1 trillion company. Now that we've gotten
At some
trillion
point, yeah.
dollar companies, so that's a 5x on your money, bro, right there. Like we're gonna do
Easy.
a podcast a few years from now,
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm
going
not.
over
I ain't
what we
letting
talked
go.
about.
I ain't letting go in the near future. That's for sure.
Yeah, I
And
was talking.
like,
Go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, there's always been this Nvidia like craze, and I mean, AMD does not need to beat Nvidia for AMD to do what I just hope that it does.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
it does not need to be the next Nvidia. It doesn't. It just needs to be a competitor.
What it's doing
Yeah,
now. It just
yeah,
needs to
absolutely.
continue doing what it's doing now.
And I keep watching like videos and stuff with Lisa Sue and like the CEO, man.
She's solid, eh?
She's gangster, man. She's
Yeah,
badass. Like,
she
look at
is.
where the stock was when she took over the company. I think it was $2. Like, it's
Yeah,
gone up like 10,000%, man.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and that's and there's another good analogy. Don't tell me one person can't change a nation or a company or
Yeah.
whatever, or a sport team or whatever, man. Like, no, we need solid leaders in this world, and uh, that's slowly, I think, starting to revert itself back in a good way.
Yeah. And like, well, you know me, like, I love crypto, but I love the stock market,
Mhm.
right? Like, I fucking love the stock market and
Yeah.
just the stories that come out of that. And one of the things when you look at like my portfolio is most of the companies I own, you'll be like, oh, that person's a CEO or that person's a CEO. You're gonna know because like a great CEO is just
Yeah.
it's insane. Like like Nike right now. Look at that. Like Elliot Hill
Yeah.
just took over the shit show that Nike was becoming. And in like 6 months is already like yesterday
Yeah.
when I posted that thing on the Discord.
Yep.
Like Nike and Kim Kardashian Skims are partnering up now. That's
Yep.
going to be huge.
Huge.
Whether you like Kim Kardashian or not,
Don't
I
care about.
personally don't care
Don't give
because
a fuck
my
about the girl,
portfolio
man.
loves her.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, man. Yeah. Yeah.
And just like all these things and like just watching a new CEO come in and like just flip a company over, like Alex Chris with PayPal. Like you're just seeing that happen, right? Like it's
Yeah.
insane.
And look at what the CEO did with Palantir, bro.
Oh man, yeah,
Like did you remember the post I was making of Palantir at $8 and $9?
yeah. And I was looking
Before the
at it,
break?
and I never got in, man. I never got in.
Because
I
we're
was
at
too focused on those
$110
things.
today, I
I
think.
know.
But it fell off a cliff at around 3 o'clock today.
Yeah, I think it got to like 120 something, or
it was at 124, and
yeah,
at 3 o'clock it fell off to 110.
yeah.
It dumped. So
I mean, yeah,
something
like
happened.
a small dog company still that's like a $200 billion like market cap.
with
It's
an
like,
$800 million revenue for one
what?
stupid. I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to short this so
Like,
bad, but it's
well,
the
that's the
dumbest
thing,
thing to
man.
do.
Like that stock price, like that's factored in, man. Like growth is factored in, right? So a lot of people are like, if I was owning it right now, I'd take profits straight up.
Oh,
Right now.
fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd be taking profit and I'd be setting up a short position right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's insane. And that's the why I'm so excited about AMD, because AMD brought in $7 billion last quarter and is not even the same market cap as Palantir.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
$50 billion less than
Exactly.
Palantir, and they make fucking almost 10 times more every 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Which is
I'm just
wild,
like,
right?
it's wild, man. And I think there's a reason for that. I think the stock's being suppressed by institutions, and so that institutions can buy up as much as they can of the stock. And we're seeing it. Institutions are buying. ARK Invest bought. Uh, Vanguard and BlackRock both bought in the last quarter of last year. I haven't checked to see the first quarter of this year yet, but
it's definitely being scooped up. And like I'm even though right now would have been technically a better time to get in than when I got in, I'm still very like proud and happy that I got in when I got in, because after doing all my research and stuff, I was like, man, this thing's got something.
yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're hearing all of the big names like jumping on. And I was like, I fucking beat you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. No, institutions were buying at the top last year and the year before. And you said you got in at what price?
It was probably about 132. I think I DCA'd. I'm at about 120 right now or something, 122.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter when you started. It just matters when your average is.
Oh yeah.
122?
Yeah.
Man, Jay, I'll just do it quick, right? Real quick. You got in when the stock was down 46%. Like, that's a pat on the back every day of the week,
Yeah.
in my
Some,
opinion. Like, obviously,
yeah,
you
and I
can
know
drop 60
yeah.
bucks in the next 3
And
weeks,
you
and I'd
know
be,
some
we'd be looking like
and
fucking idiots. But
yeah, and it depends who you ask, right? AMD Advanced Money Destroyer. I know we have one member that on this that's pretty vocal about that. But you know, like it's common, man. You're just
yeah,
ahead of your time.
yeah, yeah. Patience.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Hold, man.
Yeah. Well, it is very hard for people to stay emotionless when it comes to the one
Absolutely.
thing that we're told we have to make the most and hold on to and save. And I don't know. I use, like, you know me, I've been using money as a tool to get ahead and to have a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah,
And I think I have a decent balance of that in my life. So
absolutely.
I think it's important for anyone, like I'll say for a man, but for a man to have balance in his life and to learn these skills that are important to pass down to the family. I think that responsibility comes on the man in the family, and to take on those important roles. And it's one of the hardest things to do, because you got to stay emotionless, you got to stay composed, you got to not make irrational decisions. And as a man, we make irrational decisions and we're impulsive, right? So it's like you're always battling, against yourself. But when you get it and you figure it out and your mindset shifts, it's like, wow.
Well,
I
and that's it, right?
Yeah,
And like the best thing you can do is just try to educate yourself as much as you can, so you're making the best decisions, right? Like, so obviously you're gonna get, like emotions are gonna get the best of you at some point.
oh yeah,
There's no way around that. But if you're continuously making the best decisions that you can with like with as much information as you can, at least you're doing that, and
yeah,
there shouldn't be any regret in that, right?
no,
But if you're just throwing a dart being like, hey, what's this fucking fart coin, let me throw a what's $5,000, like, and then it's
yeah,
gone, and then you're like, oh, why did I do that? Like, that's
yeah,
dumb.
yeah,
There's there's like this couple, I don't know, becoming like quotey and stuff, but
hmm?
this one quote this guy that I listen to has in his background all the time, and it's sometimes you win and sometimes you learn.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about like 3, 4, 5 years ago, like the way I was investing, it was sometimes I win and I ain't learning shit and I'm losing most of the time, but
Yeah.
now it's like all like if I make a bad decision, I'm like, I can learn off that now because
Mm.
I am
You
keeping
have the
myself
tools.
educated,
Yeah.
and I know that if something didn't go as planned, I'm like, well, I didn't see it coming. Like, okay, where did I go wrong? So that's
Yeah.
kind of like goes back to all that mindset stuff. It's like,
Yeah. And manage and learning risk management, managing your
yeah,
risk and things
it's
like this.
huge. And
Yeah.
that's, I think, is probably one of the biggest things for, people that are starting to invest is like that FOMO and trying to like chase that, next big thing. And it's like, no, man, like sit down, make yourself like a plan, a goal, do the friggin' course
Yeah.
and figure out what kind of investor you have, what kind of risk tolerance you have, and make a solid plan. When I tell people, like people come to me like, hey, what should I invest in? What should I, I'm
Yourself.
like,
You're
yourself,
yeah.
man. Like, and they're like, I don't know the
Yeah. I don't
fuck
want to
this
hear
guy.
that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like, well, I can't help you then, man. I'm sorry.
This is why I have stopped saying yes to 95% of my text messages on social media and my phone these days.
Yeah.
It's a calculated reason why I'm giving my time to the people that I want to give my time to, that I don't ask for a coaching call.
Yeah.
I would never get ahead. And people just want free information and don't want to work for it. So like,
Most people, yeah.
yeah. And like, that's not going to get you anywhere. I can tell you to go buy AMD all day. You're not going to know when to buy it. And you're not going to know when to sell it. You're not
Yeah.
even going to know how to look at it,
Yeah.
and you're probably going to pick up the phone and call your bank guy and say, hey, I want to put 5 shares on AMD. It's like, no, man, stop picking up the phone, grab a
Yeah.
computer.
Who uses the phone to invest anyways
Yeah,
anymore? What do you
exactly. You don't use your AI bot?
Yeah.
No.
Loser.
Yeah, no, I get it. Speaking of that, like, how are you excited about where AI is going and how it's making life as 10 times more efficient?
Hell yeah. I
Yeah.
love it.
I think
I
we're going to,
mean, like it's at what point is it gonna be a little too intelligent? But I mean, man, like, we like we started using like a chat or like a LMM or LLM or large language model kind of things just to help out, like assess us in our daily routines. And like now I call like Chat GPT like my wife's assistant because she's
yep,
constantly using it,
yep,
like SOPs or
yep,
like just drawing like anything up. And I'm like,
yep,
I'm gonna start using it too. And
yep.
sure shit, I'm like on it all the time, man. And it's kind of helping us take some of our time back.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm all for it, man. Like,
Yeah, I use it as a butler, man. Like
pretty
I
much,
ask
yeah.
it questions. I train it to know how I think
Yep.
so that it can make decisions before I even really need to make it. Um, And, I'm going to say shame on anyone who doesn't allow their kids or their workers or, their establishments not use these tools to, in their everyday work. You know, I'm
Yeah,
still seeing it
absolutely.
in organizations and places thinking that, it's a cheat or it's this and that. No, it's not. It's just like going to hit Google search. You're just getting
Yeah.
it in a different, it's being delivered to you in a different way, in a more efficient way, so
Yeah,
that you don't have to search and click on things. You
exactly.
search and then it comes to you.
Like
It's the same thing.
this is the reality of the world now. So why would you not, give people access to that? It's almost like, you know,
You
uh
want them to suffer.
well, it's like back in the day when I had to do stupid math tests and they wouldn't let you use a calculator. It's like, why?
Yeah.
I'm literally going to use the calculator in the real world, man. Like, let me
Yep.
use the calculator.
Yeah. You should be
You
teaching
know?
me how to use the calculator, because that's what I'm going to
Exactly.
be using in the real world. Yeah. Yeah, no, education is probably the one place that's probably going to evolve the most here, I think, in the next 5 years. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to see some of the biggest colleges and universities in the world go bankrupt,
100%.
and we're going to see, establishments like Nifty Campus, and there's going to be a ton more that are going to do great work. A lot of homeschooling going on, and I think that's going to become a new trend here, and then that'll be the new trend for the next 2, 3 to 4 years.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it makes sense, right?
yeah.
If you just look at like the evolution, this is like just logically the next step.
Yep.
So
if I were to ask you what your 2-year goals are from here, what would they be?
my 2-year goal.
Yeah.
Right now, my current goal is I'm trying to reach a specific number in my portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
So that will probably a 2-year goal. However, in 2 years from now, I want to be walking next to a realtor in Mexico, looking at our first investment property.
All right.
I already see it. It's a 2-bedroom condo. It's got 2 bathrooms. Gotta split the bathrooms, and it's gonna be awesome.
So I just took note.
Palm trees. Good.
So I just took note. So I'm gonna hold you accountable, man.
Please do, man.
You know me.
I'm so focused on that right now. Like it's insane. Just
Good.
I got so many things on the go, just in like hyper speed.
That's awesome. So if I were to summarize today, and I appreciate all your time today, Jay, I know you're really busy. What would be the definition of success to you, bro?
Success for me is, how do I word that? Perpetual progress.
Nice.
Like constantly working to get better and better. I don't want an end goal. If I have an end goal and I stop there, then there's no more success. I've failed myself. I just want to keep reaching and constantly just smashing through whatever I thought was possible and challenging myself with something even crazier than before.
That's awesome.
As long as I keep at least working towards that, whether I fail 100,000 times, I don't give a shit. As long as I'm working towards that and I'm doing the best I can, to me, I'm being successul.
Well, that's great, man. I hope more and more people see this podcast to help them with that type of mindset.
Don't get me wrong. Will be blowing past financial freedom. Obviously, that is a small stepping stone.
Yeah.
But, to me, it's just that constant, like, just get better and better and better and never stop.
Do me one thing, man. Pat yourself on the back, brother, because you've been killing it, man, and the progress is there. So if that was a goal that you've had over the last few years, you've made it, man. You've made the goal. Now you're fine tuning it and you're evolving it. So
yeah, that's it, man.
Awesome to see, and I appreciate you joining us today, bro.
Man, yeah, thank you so much, man. Like I'm just really happy we could finally make this work.
Yeah.
And like I know you have my back and I have your back, so we'll just keep doing what we do, man, and we'll see. We'll be having some, I don't know, man, Mai Tais or some shit somewhere else in the world real soon together.
Pretty soon, Jay, you'll just be able to text me, bro, and I'll hop on a fucking plane and I'll be there,
That's
man.
the goal.
I'll be there and I'll be 12 hours away. It'll
actually, I'm gonna write that one down.
All right, hold me to it. Hold me to it. I'll be saying, baby, James, I'm gone. See you later. And she'll be like, where are you going? Doesn't matter, young lady.
I should come too, man. That's no problem.
Well, we'll see. No, I'm just kidding. All right, man. Thanks a lot, dude.
All right, bro.
Okay.
Peace.
Cheers.